Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. This is Saturday, July 31st. It's almost 4:30 in the afternoon, and I realized a little while ago that I don't have a plan for supper. I really need to get back on the meal planning train and make a meal plan, a weekly meal plan basically. I really need to get started doing that because I keep falling behind on this, and then it's always a case of I'm flying by the seat of my pants each day trying to figure out what to make last minute. So today though, because I was going to take a ham out of the freezer last night and let it thaw out and cook that with a bunch of potatoes and gravy today for supper. Did not happen. It got late last night, went to bed without taking the ham out, completely forgot. So starting from scratch, I decided today I'm going to make a shepherd's pie. So I have the beef thawing out right now, and as you can see, it's not done, but what I might do is I might put it in a sink of water. That pretty much thaws it pretty quickly. This is why I freeze beef the way I do. We usually buy the club packs, like the trays where there's 2 or 3 pounds of beef in each tray. And then I divide it into 2 or 3 portions and put them in large freezer bags and squeeze all the air out and freeze them flat in the freezer. I can't speak. I'm sorry. They freeze them flat in the deep freeze. And that way they take up less room, but also because they're not very thick, they thaw out pretty quickly. But because I do need to get going on this, it's already 4:30, I may put this in a sink of water and speed up the thawing process a little bit. Not warm water, you don't want to do that, but just cool water. Shouldn't take more than another half hour, 40 minutes to thaw out. But in the meantime, I need to get busy and peel some potatoes and get them boiling. So that'll give this plenty of time to finish thawing if I do it that way. And this shepherd's pie, this mix, it's kind of like a seasoning, I guess. It's quite easy. All you have to do, you just simply have to fry the ground beef up. You need ground beef, onion. I don't usually use an actual onion because I don't like to have like chunks of onion in my casseroles or whatever. So I usually use onion powder for flavoring, and that's totally fine too. It's whatever you prefer. And then 2 cups frozen mixed vegetables, 3/4 cup of water, and 3 cups of mashed potatoes. So I need to go and peel some potatoes and get them on to boil. And once they're done, strain them and mash them, and then those will be ready. And somewhere in that time frame, once those are close to done boiling, or once it's time to mash those, then I can fry up the ground beef, because then I just have to fry up the beef, the onion powder, and the vegetables, drain the fat, put them in a casserole dish after I've added the seasoning mix and water, and top with potatoes, and put them in the oven. So it shouldn't be too hard. And I have had this before. The seasoning mix, this flavoring is actually quite nice. So let me get started on here. I'm just going to go, and I don't think you need to watch me or want to spend time watching me peel potatoes. So I'm just going to go do that off camera, and I will come back in a little bit once I have those on to boil. Okay, I've got 6 potatoes peeled and rinsed. I'm going to work on trying to get them cut and put into this pot. I have to add some water yet and get them on to boil. I have to check out these potato peels after, so let me figure out how best to position this. I don't have this on a tripod. I'm just going to set it down. I'll just cut up my potatoes. It will not take me long to do that. And it's just a matter of adding some water and getting them on to boil. Water and a bit of salt usually is what I also do when I boil my potatoes. So let's get these guys. I've rinsed them already. Make them not super tiny, but not so thick that they'll take forever to cook through either. I don't know if 6 potatoes will be sufficient for 3 cups mashed potatoes, but hopefully it'll be enough, give or take. If it's a little bit more, then I'll just set some aside in the fridge. We can have leftover mashed potatoes with something else. But these guys cut up. Okay, beef is not thawed out yet. I have not put it in water yet to finish thawing, but it's the potatoes will take a little while to boil through, so I think it should be fine. I might not even need to put the beef in water, because I think for the amount of time it'll take for the potatoes to fully cook through, that might be enough time for the beef to finish thawing out. And if not, I'll add water and put the beef in that later for like 20 minutes, half hour. It shouldn't take long. Anyway, let me get this going. I think, yeah, I already dried that off. Add some water. now that I'm looking at all the sliced potatoes in here, I think this will probably be more than enough for 3 cups once it's said and done. Just turn the burner on that way. I don't think I need to use the whole one. Probably just this center part will be fine. And then just a little bit of salt. Oops, that's a bit much. Some salt. Always done that. My mom taught me that as a kid. My mom didn't really teach me much in the way of cooking, but I do remember her always adding salt to the water for potatoes. So now they're on to boil. It'll take a little bit for them to come to a boil. And then once they do, I'll have to turn the heat down off high or else they'll boil over. And then probably be about 20 minutes or so boiling. And strain them and mash them, set them aside, and then get working on frying up the beef and the vegetables. And it shouldn't really take all that long after that. So it's 4:53 right now. It'll probably be around 5:30, 5:40 by the time these are done boiling so that they're ready to be mashed. And then, yeah, frying up the beef. So probably in the oven for 6 o'clock. And then that would mean, how long is it in the oven for? 400 degrees, 25 minutes. So probably be about 6:30 by the time it's all done. Which is okay because my daughter's actually working till 8 o'clock tonight anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. Okay, now it is time to mash the potatoes. I don't think my ground beef is completely thawed through yet, so I'm not going to start frying it just yet. I'm at least going to get some potatoes mashed. I just have to eyeball how much milk I actually need. I'm hoping this amounts to 3 cups of mashed potatoes, give or take. Probably a little less would be okay, and if it's a little more, we'll just put it in the fridge in a container to have leftover mashed potatoes with a different meal. And I have frying pans that live inside the oven here. I'm going to have to take those out before I preheat the oven to bake the shepherd's pie. So that'll have to come out in a little bit. Oh yeah, that amount of milk seems to be just about right. Don't want them too runny, but it was enough that it made it easy to mash, so that's good. Now, okay, just got a new potato masher the other day. My old one I've had as long as I can remember, so probably close to 30 years, and it finally broke. The other one finally broke the other day, probably after using it all these years to mash berries for jam. Okay, that's got to be at least 3 cups, if not more. So there'll probably be some leftover mashed potatoes, but that's totally fine. So I'm gonna go check on the ground beef. It's thawing out in some water in the sink. And once that's ready to go, then I will start frying that up along with the onion powder and the mixed vegetables. I'll probably just use peas and corn. And then, yeah, once it's fried up, well, maybe once it's fried up, then I'll drain the fat and then I'll add the peas and corn and the water and the flavoring. And that should be good. So that'll be the next step. Let me just go check and see if it's thawed out yet. Okay. We are now ready to start cooking the ground beef. All in there. Rinse out that Ziploc baggie before I throw it in the garbage. Where's my meat cooker? Here we go. I like to rinse that out before I put it in the garbage, only because if that garbage bag doesn't go out for a couple of days, then things are going to smell in there. So garbage tends to smell enough as it is. No need to make it worse by having meat packaging in there that hasn't been rinsed off at least a little bit. So we're just going to get it going here. I have to reach up and get my onion powder. I'm going to get a casserole dish down on the top shelf as well. I think I don't need the lid for that. Oh, there's a glass lid. I guess I could use the glass lid. Maybe. We'll see. I might not need to, but it's kind of dusty, so I'll have to wipe it off if I do. Haven't used this dish in a while. That means the inside of the dish should be fine because the lid has been on it. Oh, look. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Unless I need a bigger one. I don't know. This is just a round dish. We shall see. Yeah, I might need a bigger one actually. Maybe. Maybe this guy. Only because this one is a lot deeper. The one I took down isn't anywhere near that deep. Okay, so I'll put this other guy back up top. Use it another day. And I see the onion powder. Oh goodness. I see the onion powder right up front here. Oops, that's going to fall down. I don't want that. Onion. Might throw a little bit of garlic powder in there too. Okay. Leave this on high. We'll turn it down a little bit. How much onion powder do we want in there? Just to taste, so just a little bit. It's a good bit. Might be more than I need, but whatever. Since I'm not using the whole onion, I might as well make up for it with the onion powder. I'll throw a little bit of garlic powder in too, although the shepherd's pie seasoning mix does have seasonings in it as well. So let me see what temperature the oven needs to be preheated to. 400. As we get that one, so it won't take long to cook this ground beef. Some garlic, just for a little bit of flavor. I'm not going to add a lot of extra salt because I already put salt in the potato water. I might throw some pepper in though. Yeah, it's already 6:05, so I'm a little bit behind schedule here, but I've also been working on uploading some of my wildlife and nature photography online on Facebook. The pictures on my camera on my phone are okay, but I also have some better quality ones I feel on my camera. I haven't actually uploaded those in a while, so I was taking some time to do that. And my computer is from 2010, so it's 11 years old. It's still running. It runs Windows XP rather, so it can't be updated. So it's a very old kind of dinosaur of a computer. It needs to be replaced. So when I do want to go online, whether it's my email or Facebook or anything like that, and upload pictures, it takes forever and a day. So I've uploaded a couple posts worth of pictures that I've taken of a swan family, some yellow finches of some sort, I think, house finches or goldfinches or something we saw in one of our travels, and some other kind of orange-headed type blackbird. I don't know. I'm also in one of the Facebook groups that's for like Manitoba nature and wildlife photography, so I'm uploading them there as well as to my personal page in hopes that some of the people in that group that are experienced bird watchers and experienced nature photographers can help me identify the birds a little bit, because I don't know all of it, all the answers. Okay. How much water do I need? I need to get a measuring cup down for that. 3/4 cup. Okay, that's easy enough. I have a 1 cup measuring cup right here. Smells good. I know you can't see because I don't have you positioned to look down in the frying pan, but it's just hamburger frying with some onion powder and garlic powder so far, and some pepper. Now, in a minute here I'll have to go drain this back because it's actually almost done. It really doesn't take that long to fry this up. And then I will add the seasoning, and I will add some frozen peas and corn to it. That looks pretty good. I think it was pretty good. I can go to strain this. It will not take long. Be right back. Not even all that much fat to actually drain. Being lean ground beef is actually pretty good. Where to put it? Inside my pan. What did I do with those paper towels? There we go. Back. My seasoning that's sitting here. I'm not going to throw that away just yet. And I'm going to measure out some water. That's just being past the 3/4 cup. The burner is off, but it's still quite hot. It's obviously starting to simmer away already, or just from the leftover heat from when I was cooking the meat. Okay, so that is in there. Let me grab some frozen corn. I know I have some in the freezer, the fridge. Where did that bag get to? And to get to the peas, I think I have to go in the deep freeze for that. I know it said 2 cups, but for this I'm not measuring it. I just put a good bit of vegetables in. Especially the corn. We really like corn here. Let's see if I can find a bag of peas. This shouldn't be hard to get to. I might even just put a little bit more water because to me this doesn't seem like very much. I haven't turned the burner back on yet. I'm waiting until I have all the ingredients in there. Apparently I have not opened this bag of peas yet, so that's okay. My daughter isn't as much of a fan of peas as I am, so that's fine. A little mixture is not a bad thing. I probably could have dug out like a bag of like peas, carrots, and corn, But, oops, we lost some peas. They're running away. I won't be laying it down in between. I was trying to force a small clump of them out the hole in the bag. I know they're frozen right there, but they will defrost in the heat of cooking. So, okay, I'm gonna add a smidge more water to this. Oh, well, that was more peas than I intended to put in. Okay, we've got lots of peas in there now. That's okay. I guess we're gonna be heavy on the vegetables tonight. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna clip to this bag. Now we definitely need a little bit more water, because that is a little heavier on the vegetables than I intended. And then it makes me wonder, I might need to do a 9x13 pan instead of a casserole dish. I have a feeling I'm going to have to use an oblong pan. Okay. Oh, that's sitting right in front of the camera. That's not so good. You can't see anything but that. That was silly. Okay, let me turn this up and put a little bit more water, because I'm pretty sure we're going to need more. Okay. Yeah, and this clump of peas will, as soon as things get hot, they will break up. It's all good. Yeah, I think I'm going to be needing a 9x13, an oblong pan, whether it be 9x13 or something of that nature instead, because this is probably more like 3 cups of vegetables instead of 2, maybe even more, but that's okay. And the fact that this one clump of peas is frozen right now, it'll dissolve, it'll melt in here with the heat of the burner, and if there's any ice, like any frost on those, then that'll just add to the liquid, because this is not super liquidy, which is okay. It doesn't need to be, but I'm just trying to. Guys, I'll turn the burner up fairly high right now, just so it's nice and hot that it breaks that up. Okay, I'll bring right back and I'll show you once I'm layering it in the pan. Right now, this is what it looks like. I will bring you back once I'm layering it in the pan, and then once it's all said and done. Okay, oops, try and get you set up again here. We're back. Sort of back. Okay. We're gonna get this poured into the pan. Sorry for the awkwardness here, guys. As I said, I'm still rather new to all this. I don't have a proper tripod to mount my phone on, so I'm still figuring this all out. Forgive me for being green, new and inexperienced at this. Okay, so the heat is off. We're going to pour all this in. I'm just going to go with a 9x13 pan, because by the time I added all those vegetables in, there's no way this would have all fit in just a casserole dish. Even a 9x13 pan, this is going to be a lot. Okay. And the oven's preheating, so it should be going off shortly. It's a pretty basic meal. It's basically just like a meat with like a gravy, some peas and corn, and then mashed potatoes on top. It's pretty basic. It's like a meat and potatoes kind of meal, basically. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But don't do like me and maybe measure out your vegetables instead of just eyeballing, or instead just letting them fall freely out of the bag, because that's what happened to me. Got more than I bargained for. Let's see how many potatoes we end up using here. Might be, now that I'm using a bigger pan, it might be a good portion of them. Well, and that is the sound to tell me the oven is preheated, so that's just in time. Okay. Might as well use most of it, I guess. Okay. Add a little bit more up here. Don't mind the birds going off in the other room. That's Ruby. That's her African Grey. She yells stop all the time. So if you're hearing somebody yelling stop, it's not at me, it's just the bird. Bird, nobody's telling me to actually stop, it's just the bird. It's one of her favorite words. I haven't heard her say a lot of words. She tends to make more sounds than words. So I don't know. She's over 20 years old. We've only had her about a month, and so far we haven't heard her say a lot of words. I don't know how many words she actually knows. But she certainly knows a lot of high-pitched beeping noises like that and video game type noises. And she impersonates a smoke detector very well too. Which is all fine and dandy unless you're cooking and you think something's wrong. But usually when she makes that, we aren't actually cooking. She just makes smoke detector sounds randomly, and she'll bark like a chihuahua. Seriously, like she will do that to let us know usually she wants attention or when she's out of food. So we don't actually have a dog, never have had one, but apparently we do now because the parrot sounds like a chihuahua sometimes. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's just a meat and potatoes meal. It's just for the three of us. It's not going to be anything gourmet or fancy. Doesn't need to be pretty. It needs to be edible. I'm pretty sure it will be. Okay. Well, actually I did use up all the potatoes. But that's because I wound up using a bigger pan. So, over here. Good enough. Okay. So, this is where we are at. That's what it looks like. Oh, I got one random pea back there that, well, it fell down. Never did make its way in, but that's okay. So let's get this guy in the oven. Oh, it's heavy. Give me 1 second to put you down here for a minute. So I can't lift that with both hands, or with just one hand. Okay, there it goes. And the seasoning packet said to cook it for, how long? What does it say? 25 minutes, I believe. It's not focusing, but I'm pretty sure it said 25. Yeah, 25 minutes or until potatoes are golden brown. So let's set the timer. Okay, so it's in the oven, and I will bring you back and show you what it looks like when it's all ready to eat. Okay, it is now 6:49 in the evening. I just took the shepherd's pie out of the oven. The timer just went off. You can kind of see a little bit of the gravy bubbling up over there on that side from the mix that I put in with the ground beef with the vegetables. It may not be the prettiest looking supper dish ever there was, but that doesn't matter as long as it tastes good. That's the main thing. So you can see some of the peas and corn. It's a 9x13 pan, so with only 3 of us here in the house, this will probably last us a couple days. Could get a couple suppers out of it for sure. Anyway, so that's how it turned out, and I know it's good because we've had it before, but it's a very simple supper. It's not very pretty looking. It's nothing gourmet. Tasting is, it's definitely not gourmet as far as appearance or taste, but it's a good hearty meal. Anyway, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do leave a comment below. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new, if you would like to. And we will see you in the next video. Hope everybody's having a really good weekend. Take care, everyone.